I finally did my first successful Italian bind off. Chat, she did it. I'm so proud of myself. Hello everyone, my name's Allie. Welcome back to my channel, Prairie Purl Knits. Today's video is another one of my podcast episodes where I talk about my knitting, and really that's the only craft I'm doing right now. Though there is possibly a new craft coming in. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but it is yarn related though, so we'll see. But I don't have a crap ton to talk to you guys about today because I was quite busy the last 2 weekends on my days off. So I didn't get as much knitting done as I expected to. I expected to get so much more done than I did. I do still think that I'm going to be able to get my cardigan done in time and everything, so I'm not too stressed about it. And then I do not have any acquisitions this episode, except I kind of do. We'll get there. But like, it's not in yet. We'll get there. Whatever. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into my works in progress because I don't have much to talk to you guys about other than that until the end. We get into a little bit of a life section. So I'm going to go again from oldest to newest, which is what I think I'm going to continue to try to do my best at and remember the order. So the first one that I have to talk about is my Oilers socks that I was knitting. I do actually have some progress on these this week. Not a bunch of progress, but a little bit. I have kind of decided possibly to put these aside until the new season of hockey starts and then just like knit on these while the games are going on. I need to do the other heel before I get there because then I can just do the foot while watching the game, but we'll see. It is very difficult to show you guys these because they are on 2 at a time magic loop and I've only done one, and this still has 2 balls of yarn attached to it. This has 1. And if you saw another one of my episodes, my earlier episodes, you would know that I had planned to keep this stripe motif going down the entire foot of the sock. And honestly, I just can't be bothered to do that. It is too fiddly and I do not care enough to continue doing that because I don't want to break my yarn every stripe, but I might have to if I do that because it's so tricky to keep it consistent and have no like tension issues on the join areas. So this is just a very simple vanilla sock. I knit 20 rounds of 2x2 rib, and then I did a different heel than usual. This is the Deep Shadow Wrap heel by Isolde Teague. Usually I just use like a standard heel flap and gusset that you learn with the Crazy Sock Ladies patterns, but I wanted to try something different because I feel like I get a little bit more looseness in the heel than I would really love. So I decided to try this. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. I'm gonna wait till I block them to make a full decision, but you will see because it is a little bit tight, but this also is superwash and I know it's going to grow a little bit with wear and kind of adjust and block to my exact foot shape, so I'm not too stressed about that. As you can tell, they are mismatched socks as well, which I think was just a little bit of a fun decision to make. They're just to be worn to games while watching games whenever I want to, really. I'm not like too picky or particular about my socks. I wear mismatched socks all the time, so I don't really care. And I thought it'd just be a little fun thing to do, also to make sure I had enough yarn because this is knit out of Lang Jaw Wool, and those come, it says 50 grams on the ball. It's not 50 grams, it's like 43 because they're including the spool of nylon thread in there, which when I learned that after weighing them, I was a little perplexed. I'm like, really? Come on. I'm gonna probably put these aside a little bit because I am going to go get some new stuff this weekend, which you guys will see in the next podcast episode, which is definitely going to result on me casting on another sock. And if that's the case, these are gonna be put to the side for just a little bit, month or 2 perhaps, we'll see. Other than doing the heel on this side, which I will get done whenever I have the urge to knit. The next project that I have to discuss is my Tonight top by Lily Kate France, or Lily Kate Makes, whichever one you want to say. And I wanted to get more done on this than I did. I wanted to at least get the neckband done too, but when I tell you it was a race against time to finish these armhole edges, I've been starting my double knitting marathon. And my next project is also at the part where I need to do some double knitting, which is super exciting. Loved it so much. Either way, this is my Tonight top, and this is where I am. Now, it doesn't look insanely much different, but let me show you guys the better underarm side, because it looks better. So, but last podcast episode, when I removed the hair on here, was at about like that far into the body. So I knit a few inches on the body, and then I just did that until I finished my second ball, though I left enough yarn to be able to attach my new skein. So left quite a long tail. And then I did the double knit armholes, which were very interesting. You pick up along the bottom, and then you pick up all the stitches around like you're just picking up for a normal sleeve. And you have to cast on some new stitches. If you've done double knitting, you know what I'm talking about. And it was very interesting to do for the first time. If you know, I'm going to talk about my mistakes on here. This was like the first bit of double knitting that I did, and it was really bad, if you can't tell. So, but I didn't care enough to frog it, because then I have to pick up all my stitches again, and I did not want to do that. Picking up stitches is like one of my least favorite things to do in knitting, so I don't love doing it. But I did both armholes. This armhole took me a lot longer. Like, I think I did this over the course of like 5 to 6 days. This one I did in 2. Like, I picked it up, it's Wednesday right now, I picked it up on Monday. Or did I pick it up Sunday night? No, I picked it up Monday because I had finished, yeah, I know what I was doing. I picked it up Monday, like afternoon, and then I finished this last night when I came home from work on the second. The second one is a lot neater. Screaming child outside. Kids are playing. It's summertime, so they're gonna go do that. Hence why I'm not wearing anything knit. I didn't address that. Yeah, I'm not wearing anything knit right now. It is boiling hot. Though I will say, side note to that, I wore my coloring book tee this weekend, which it was very, very hot, hence the burns on my arm, and it was totally fine. So, love that. But it's too hot to wear anything knit right now. I'm already sweating in this. And this is like a cotton dress, so it's fine. But what was I talking about before I started going on a tangent? Yeah, it took me a lot less time. It's a lot neater. So I think what I'm going to do is knit the neckband and then kind of put this in hibernation for a little bit until my Midlands cardigan is done, because we're not talking about it yet, but I finished the hem on my cardigan, and so all I need to do is the button band and the sleeves. And after I do the button band, I'm going to block the cardigan and then do the sleeves. And so I think when it's blocking, I'll do the neckband on this and then put this away until the sleeves are done, because this is just adding stress to my life when this doesn't need to be done by a deadline. The only one that really has some sort of deadline in my mind is my cardigan. So I don't want my knitting to stress me out. So I'm just going to let myself put this in timeout for a little bit, because it is a very small gauge. This is knit in Sanduskarn Sunday in the colorway Night Sky, which is 5591, I believe. And it's one of the petite knit colorways. And as close as I am to finishing this, it's a 26 stitch gauge. In yarn, I don't enjoy knitting. I really don't like Sanduskarn Sunday. Compared to a Knitting for All and Merino, which I think are very comparable yarns, this is so much crisper. I saw someone else finally address this about merino wool, where sometimes it's just kind of crisp and hard. And every time I've worked with Sanduskarn Sunday, which has been twice now, so both times I've had that happen where it just feels kind of crisp and not super nice to work with. It blocks out better, but it's still not everything. So I do prefer Knitting for All merino, but this is the yarn I picked up, so hopefully it works out well and I still do enjoy wearing it. I'm really excited to have this for fall. I really want to be able to layer it over like a crew neck, not a crew neck, a turtleneck, or maybe some sort of black crew neck, whatever. Just like skin tight tops. I can layer this over top with a pair of jeans or trousers or whatever. I think it'd be super cute. So also just to wear on its own. I have a trench coat that I like to wear during winter that would work really well with this, because they're both cool toned. So I'm really excited to finish this. I just need to put it away for a little bit before I focus on finishing that body, because that body is supposed to be like 10.5 inches. Which I don't think it will be. I might try it on soon when I go back to knitting it after it being in timeout and just decide where I want the body to hit. I want it to be tuckable, but I don't need it to be the full length, I think. Oh yeah, I didn't talk about, I missed something. For the double knitting, I used Chago 3mm needles on 16-inch circulars. And I tried when I started to do the double knitting to just use this, but I decided very quickly that I needed another 3mm needle to work with because this was just so fiddly. And so this is a 4mm needle on here now because with my cardigan I'm gonna have to do the same thing because I've already prepped the needle for it. But I put a 3mm needle on here as well, which is just attached to an 8-inch cord with a cord stopper at the end, because you can do it without the cord. The double knitting's not that long, but just for ease of comfort and stuff, having something pressing against my hand and my hand not floating and kind of cupping the needle, I wanted to attach a little bit of a cord. So I have this set aside for my cardigan, and this is going to be set aside for my neckband on my tonight top. Now we are done talking about my tonight top. Now, last for my works in progress, we do have my Midlands cardigan, which I did talk a little bit about already. I finally did my first successful Italian bind off. Chat, she did it. I'm so proud of myself. It was so tedious, so annoying. Took me 2.5 hours, but I did it. And now I'm less scared of it than I was before. So, you know what? Growth. But I think where I was the last time I filmed, I had just started the back. So I guess I did get a good amount of work done on this. But look, I was like here. So all of this is new. Oops. But here we are. I did, well, if you don't know what the Midlands cardigan is, first off, where have you been? Second, it's a side-to-side garter stitch project with a double knit button band. It's a drop shoulder. It's an NDK weight yarn, which I am using Gathering Yarns Merino Yak, and it's 70% merino, 30% yak. So this is a very soft fabric, which is what I wanted. The pattern does call for something a little bit toothier than this, but I was not gonna wear it in that case, so I got this. I do need to block this before I do sleeves for sure, because it is a little bit narrow on my body, and I know that, but it's also a little bit long. So I know when I stretch it out, when I block it, it's gonna shrink up a little bit lengthwise, and it's also gonna make the sleeve drop lower. So I want to be able to know exactly how much to knit my sleeves rather than just guesstimating how much it's gonna grow. So yes, here it is in all its glory. I did knit the hem, which I did pick up a decent amount of extra stitches by accident, but when I realized I was already a couple rows into the hem and I did not want to rip it back, so I'm like, I'll just survive. It'll figure itself out. Hopefully it doesn't flare. If it does, I might just put an elastic through it because I don't want to have to re-knit it and unpick an Italian bind off. So whatever, it'll be fixable. But speaking of Italian bind off, let me show you guys. But there's the Italian bind off. Oh, it looks actually pretty good. For my first like successful one, I'm not mad at that at all. It looks reasonably consistent and everything. So yeah, so next I'm going to knit the, what's it called? The button band. And then I'm going to do the sleeves and then attach the buttons, and it'll be done. And I can wear it. I wanted this to be done for a month from now, so it should be done. It might even be done by the next podcast episode, but don't quote me on that. It'll be done by at least the one after, okay? It'll be at least very close to done next podcast episode. Depends on how long it takes me to do the sleeves, and how long it takes me to do the button band. I'm expecting the button band to take me maybe maximum a week, and then each sleeve a couple days. So we will see, but it might be done next episode, just not blocked. Either way, I'm really excited to have this on, just have this in my wardrobe. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I've been wanting to knit this since she started designing it, so the fact I'm finally able to knit it, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have this. Okay, so now it is time for my future cast on plans / a little bit of acquisitions, I guess. So the first future cast on plan that I had was the Autumn Alpine sweater by Caitlin Hunter. I did do a colorwork swatch for that, which looks like this. I did the Roxanne Richardson way of knitting in the round for swatch, hence these loops. But oh my god, you guys can't tell me that's not gorgeous. That is gorgeous. Oh my god, it's so pretty. I love it, and I hit gauge exactly, though I did have to go up to a 4mm needle for the color work. I still need to swatch for stockinette and see if I need the 3.5mm needle or if I need a the 4 as well. I'm expecting to need the 3.5. In fact, I have it already set up on needles to swatch with the yarn, and this is Juniper Moon Farm Patagonia, and it is 100% organic wool, 350 meters per 100 grams, and this is in the colorway Boysenberry. And then the white that I have, I don't know where the label went. I'm usually pretty good at keeping my labels. It might be beside my yarn winder. Either way, this is the colorway Pearl. So yes, which also, I know I mentioned in, where is it? My last episode that like there is sections of the yarn that are kind of a little bit darker, and you can, I thought you wouldn't be able to see it in the work, but you can see it. Like if you look right there where my nail's pointing, you can see what I mean by it's a little bit darker in some sections, which I don't think is going to bother me, so it's fine. Which this is part of the chart except for the stripes at the side, ignore those. But yeah, and if you guys want to see my floats in the back, oh my god, they're so cute. I get why people like to see floats all the time now, but they're so good, and it is still a very stretchy fabric, so not too stressed about my gauge there either. I'm debating casting it on, like when I block my Midlands cardigan, it's probably going to take like 2 days to dry, and I can very easily get a neckband worked in that time, and between when I block it and now I can swatch the stockinette portion of the sweater and possibly cast it on while my Midlands cardigan's blocking. I didn't want 3 garment projects on at once, but I'm so itching to cast this on, and I might just say screw it and do it, perhaps. And then when my cardigan's done, work on this and my tonight top, and then when my yarn comes in, work on my other thing that I want to work on, which hopefully by then this is done the color work section, so this can be my stockinette in the round project, and the next project can be a more mindful paying attention to the pattern knit, which is the Louder Sweater by Rebecca Clow. Can't remember right now, it's fine. But this sweater is so gorgeous. I wanted a cable knit jumper so bad. I think it looks so great and amazing, but I've never done it before. I've done swatches of cables, so I know how they're done, and I don't think they're that difficult. But this is a lot going on, but I wanted something that would be very, where I have to like sit down, think, my mind can clear other things, and I can just focus on this. I really, really wanted that, and so I decided to knit it. But the issue that I was running into was figuring out what yarn to use for this, because no yarn in my local yarn stores really fit exactly what I was looking for, and that I think would achieve the same gauge I needed, but also drape the way I wanted it to. But I really liked the yarn that was used in the samples, and so I went online to Galt House of Yarn in Ontario, and I ordered some skeins of Fukulona Peruvian Highland wool, which is an Aran weight wool, and I got that. So I ordered that at like early hours of the morning today, and then they emailed me around 7:38 and were like, hey, we have the yarn, but it's in different dye lots, but we're getting another order at the end of July if you want to wait. And I said, yeah, it's fine, I'll wait a little bit, it's all good. So I'm gonna get that then, not anytime soon, but again, by then, if anything, I might have a little bit of time to work on this on its own. Who knows? Plus I'll have a new sock project by then, which I'll talk more about when we get there next episode. But yeah, so again, I'm not too stressed about that coming in anytime soon. I really do appreciate them messaging me or emailing me about the dye lot issue. I think that was something, it's just something I really, really appreciate. I think a lot of companies would just send it out without letting you know, and then you get yarn and it's like 20,000 different dye lots, and it's like, how do I work with this? So for them to be so kind as to send me an email and say, hey, like, it's different dye lots, you can't see a difference, but it obviously, even if you can't see a difference in the yarn by the naked eye, sometimes when it's knit up and put beside each other like that, you can. And I emailed them back and I was like, yeah, I would like to wait because it's my first cable project. I don't want to have to worry about alternating skeins as well. And so yeah, the fact that they offered to just send it out when they get the new shipment was really, really nice of them to do. So big shout out to Gold House of Yarn. You guys are epic. But yeah, I think that's everything yarny that I have to talk to you guys about. Catch up a little bit about life stuff that's been going on. We have some foster kittens right now. They are really cute and adorable, but oh my god, they are a handful sometimes. Oh my goodness. They are at the vet right now getting their shots, and no, but they're really, really sweet. There's a couple really good cuddle bugs in the bunch, and so yeah, I'm loving them. These last 2 weekends we went to, I'm just fiddling with this, it's so fun. These last 2 weekends we went to Superbikes on the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, I think. And then this last weekend, which was the 11th and the 12th, we went to NASCAR. And both were really, really fun. There was, bikes was in, I think, share a story that I think is fun for both weekends. The Superbikes weekend, we went to McDonald's for lunch. One of the days, I think it was the Friday, and one of the drivers like showed up at the McDonald's, and so we ended up talking to him. He wasn't the best driver of the group, but it was so nice to talk to him. And his number was 69, which I thought was hilarious. So yeah, no, he was really nice. I think overall the racing was pretty good. It was very interesting. Also, the food at that racetrack, so good. Oh my god, racetrack food kind of bangs. I'm not gonna lie. And then this NASCAR weekend, my conversation, like the thing I want to say is not even about the NASCAR people. They had like a bunch of different support races for these, like the title race. And so for one of the support races for the NASCAR weekend, they had mini stock cars, which is for kids, I think it's 8 to 12. And oh my god, they are so cute. Oh my god, they're adorable. I was dying, dead. They're so cute. You got to like go out onto the track because all the cars were pulled up, so you got to go out on the track and say hi to everyone and talk to whatever drivers you want, look at the cars and stuff. And all the kids were like going up to the kid drivers, and like being like, can you autograph my hat? So there's just these 2 kids doing that, and I was dying. Every time I saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is the most adorable thing I've ever seen. You guys are so cute. And then it was so sad, that first feature race that they had, one of the cars got T-boned by another car. He like spun a little bit, and then the other car just jammed straight into him. He had to go into an ambulance and everything. We don't know the full story of what happened. It's not really our business, you know. That's his parents' business. He is a child. But with that, obviously, there was a little bit of concern. And then we go back the next day and they're racing again. And guess who is back on the track racing again? The same kid who got his legs smashed the day before. So I'm really, really happy. As soon as I saw that he was racing again, I got so happy, and I'll be proud of him. I don't know him, I've never spoken to him, but I was so happy to see him feel okay enough to do that. It's also me and my boyfriend's 6-month anniversary on Saturday, and so we gotta hang out and everything. And then this weekend, when I'm referring to my yarn purchases, or the eventual yarn purchases, he's taking me to the yarn store to buy me stuff for our anniversary. I get to pick whatever I want, and I'm so excited. That is like dream gift territory. So yeah, but that's everything that I've talked to you guys about today. I haven't been reading at all. I've been so busy and stressed out, and I don't want to read. I have so much to do and think about. It's not happening. So we'll see if I eventually start reading again. It's fine. So that is everything that I have to share with you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and whatever you guys are working on, if you're working on anything today while watching this, and I will talk to you guys again in about 2 weeks, hopefully with some FO, at least one, perhaps, maybe, we'll see, and hopefully some fun little acquisitions to show you guys. And that's, yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.